I just had this idea to release one new video every day for 30 days. And it didn't matter how many views it got. I was just gonna do that as as an experiment, and I'm gonna do that. And it just kind of exploded her channel. So I put up 6 to 7 videos per week, all of August. It's a lot to do. Honestly, what I would do is just like 2 or 3 times a week, I started writing all of these titles of like, what could I teach? I just said, I'm going to do it and just see what happens. I could lose a lot of subscribers because they might be like, I don't want to see all that. You know, I didn't know. So I did it. I would put one a week, and every 8th one would get 50,000 views. So if I put one a day, then almost every week I get that. I had a really interesting one where it was an hour long. It was 30 minutes of me talking about becoming money, and then 30 minutes I had made this ChatGPT chart. I was so excited. I was going to show this chart of how do you go from 100,000 to a million or something like that, or 10,000 to 100,000 to a million, and step by step. I did all of that, cute. I posted it, and at first got a lot of views, but then people were like, it tanked in the second half. So I was like, that's crazy. So I went back and I cut it in half, and I took the whole half of it off. Where as soon as I saw where the most drop was, I just cut 30 minutes. I've never done that before. Maybe I'll cut a minute or something. 30 minutes, the whole thing, just cut it where it had a natural end. I think 4 or 5 hours later, once YouTube saw that more people were staying to the end, it just started going. So if you see it, it had a pretty good first 5 days, and then you see where I cut it and it goes like this, and now it has more than 250,000 views. We have so much information on these. It's almost like for these companies to do it. They probably shouldn't have done that because it's like most people are not looking at it. But for those of us who do, there's so much, there's a treasure in there. And that's why you even post without caring about the views at first, just to collect the data at first. Because if 5 people watch it, what do those 5 people do? When do they drop off? And then you just keep going.
My story as an entrepreneur who's not in the business of business is that people want what you're offering because everyone's trying to make money. I feel like people don't half the time even know that they want what I'm offering.
I would caution you. I learned a few years ago not to tread in FOMO. Fear of missing out. Wherever I am is the party. Wherever I am is the VIP. Wherever I am, because you get into these rooms and then there's a back room, and the back room has a balcony. So I started thinking, well, you know, I was like caught up in, why didn't I get invited to that wedding? Or why didn't I get invited to speak at that event? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? How many people want to be in the room where you are, right? So I stopped feeling the FOMO for events and invites, but I also stopped trading in FOMO when it came to someone else's life, someone else's success. The reason it is grass is greener is because there's a lot of manure on that sun.
Yeah.
Okay? There's some stuff you don't know is going on. So the only thing that you can really know for sure and trade in is what you are doing and what you're capable of and where your mind can go. You don't know how anybody else, we're learning that right now, right? You don't know how anybody else lives and what they have, right? It's what you can do. And if $100,000 a year to wake up when you want to wake up and do what you want to do, if that is exciting to you, let that be your best life. Don't say, I'm supposed to make 7 figures. Arlan said your first million. I'm supposed to make It's just a word. It's just a phrase. It's just a book. It's whatever that means to you. That's what's important.
I'm curious about capital. I constantly come up against the block of, hire a person for this, find a person for that. Well, I don't have the money to do that right now. When does it make sense as a solo entrepreneur to actually consider trying to get investors in my business so that I can grow into all these things, as opposed to just waiting on my organic growth to get me to that point?
I'm going to tell you I'm extremely biased in this question, and I think I've earned it. The reason that I have the membership, that I have my YouTube channel, that I have this mastermind, and it is not how to raise money from venture capitalists, which most people think would be the lane that I would teach in, is because most people I meet do not need venture capital or angel investors to run their business. They think they do, and they want to, because it's like, put that 100K in my bank account. Let's go. Let's run. I used to say when I was broke, they say money doesn't buy happiness. Let's see. On the other side of it, let me tell you, so many things that can be a negative experience in taking other people's capital. That's one thing, is the trade-off is not worth it, like in most cases. The other part of it, though, is to be really honest, there's no venture capitalists I know, zero venture capitalists I know who's looking for us when it comes to, oh, let me get into this solopreneur's lifestyle brand. Because it doesn't ring like, oh, I'm gonna get 10x return in 3 years. The second thing is, even if you could get angel investors, they don't do this for a living. So now you have their money to think about in their lives, like in your life, and you have to worry about that all day long. That's why I do advocate for taking that autonomy back and putting it in your own hands. I know 100% what it feels like to say, if I just had $25,000 from this person, I could do X, Y, Z. That money is fleeting, and whatever deal you made is permanent, or it's at least the long term, whatever that is. That's why I'm like, literally taught myself how to do bump sales so I could teach thousands of people how to do it. The first time I did a bump sale, I made $27,000, $24,000 in like 3 days. So from that moment on, I've been telling people, shouting from the rooftops, just try it. Even if it doesn't work, just try it, right? If you have anything, just try it. That's why I brought Rodney in just as recently as yesterday. And that's been a 3-year period. That's why I say the membership thing, that's that we were all laughing about it, but I'm like, I have made $80,000 in the last 8 weeks.
Because you're you.
But can I tell you that I have multiple people who are not me, who have learned from me, who can give you stats. When people say, what's your you? It's like, but how did I become me?
Fair.
Like, and to this day, what did I do yesterday? I flew in from going to Seattle, speaking at Amazon, then flying to New York, speaking at Lesbians Who Tech, closing out the event in front of 2,000 people, flew in 6-hour flight. When I got home, you can ask my wife, I started studying. I had a list of YouTube videos that I wanted to watch, and I watched them all. So yes, you can say I have that now, but that should be the reason you listen to me, because I went from having nothing to having that, and I have to learn new things every single month in order to stay up. From my perspective, looking at it more like, how can I own 100% or 50% if I have a partner? How can I own 100%, me and mine, own 100% of something that is a 7-figure company, instead of trying to jump through all the hoops that I'd have to jump through if I took outside funding, because they're not going to look at a 7-figure company and say that's success. They're going to say, that's cute, where is my money? You need to be an 8 or 9-figure company. So the same energy and the same time, give me those 12 months, and at the end of those 12 months, I can either hand you $100,000 and take 10% of your company, or you could have earned $100,000 and be on your way to $1 million. Take this one every time.